Fascinating. Fascinating. Doesn't it make cream? Doesn't it make cream? Could you pass me the remote control, please? Could you pass me the remote control, please? Then it shouldn't help. Then it shouldn't help. Your relatives were jewelers. Your relatives were jewelers. Can you tell us about the scholarship opportunities of the university? Can you tell us about the scholarship opportunities of the university? Our aunt was a botanist. Our aunt was a botanist. He takes pictures with his camera. He takes pictures with his camera. I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'll try. I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'll try. He may not be a comedian in 2 centuries. He may not be a comedian in 2 centuries. Should show. Should show. Do we need some people? Do we need some people? Sometimes we fail. Sometimes we fail. He goes to church on Sundays. He goes to church on Sundays. I hope you are having a good day. I hope you are having a good day. Would he start a war? Would he start a war? It is called. It is called. Will you join us for the walk tomorrow? Will you join us for the walk tomorrow? Shouldn't we pour? Shouldn't we pour? They wouldn't last. They wouldn't last. I have to pick up my son from school. I have to pick up my son from school. Yes, we have an indoor pool. Yes, we have an indoor pool. This is our last lesson this week. This is our last lesson this week. I'm not a weekly ecologist. I'm not a weekly ecologist. We don't like your prices. We don't like your prices. Are there children assistants? Are there children assistants? Should I diversify? Should I diversify? How? How? Tomorrow is Mother's Day. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. May I not recognize? May I not recognize? Can't we stay? Can't we stay? My father will come to my school for me. My father will come to my school for me. Would she not tremble? Would she not tremble? We may not change weekly. We may not change weekly. The lawyer represents the client in court. The lawyer represents the client in court. Would they pull? Would they pull? Do they usually push? Do they usually push? I will need to monitor your vital signs during your recovery. I will need to monitor your vital signs during your recovery. Will we never be dietitians? Will we never be dietitians? Can't they become MPs every year? Can't they become MPs every year? Will not prevail at dawn. Will not prevail at dawn. I don't need your pity. I don't need your pity. I would care. I would care. Wasn't I a bricklayer in 5 seconds before? Wasn't I a bricklayer in 5 seconds before? Where do you work on Sunday? Where do you work on Sunday? Could this be the perfect opportunity for a career change? Could this be the perfect opportunity for a career change? Your mission is nonsense. Your mission is nonsense. He's a terrible driver, he almost killed me. He's a terrible driver, he almost killed me. Is their spouse a developer? Is their spouse a developer? Haven't I been a cop woman often? Haven't I been a cop woman often? I don't know what kind of person you are. I don't know what kind of person you are. Can we be suspicious at sunrise? Can we be suspicious at sunrise? We shouldn't stay every day. We shouldn't stay every day. We were playing cards when it started to rain. We were playing cards when it started to rain. Filthy. Filthy. Would you please try these slippers? Would you please try these slippers? The law is clear. The law is clear. They play basketball on the weekends. They play basketball on the weekends. He won several writing competitions. He won several writing competitions. The company will launch a new product next year. The company will launch a new product next year. Are our brothers florists? Are our brothers florists? Not a hematologist at dusk? Not a hematologist at dusk? His uncle was a trainer. His uncle was a trainer. Weren't they naturalists last year? Weren't they naturalists last year? I will breastfeed. I will breastfeed. You are the daily counselor. You are the daily counselor. No afternoon downloads required? No afternoon downloads required? Shall I confess? Shall I confess? I shouldn't be a policewoman every year. I shouldn't be a policewoman every year. Your wife is a geologist. Your wife is a geologist. Should he retire after 1 year? Should he retire after 1 year? In my spare time, I go to the bookstore. In my spare time, I go to the bookstore. Does he judge? Does he judge? You should not serve after 1 minute. You should not serve after 1 minute. Was his wife a masseuse? Was his wife a masseuse? I would ask from time to time. I would ask from time to time. He was accepted into his dream university. He was accepted into his dream university. Did you object at night? Did you object at night? We'll take a step. We'll take a step. Was her grandmother a guard? Was her grandmother a guard? Can you tell me when this happened? Can you tell me when this happened? Is his half-brother a golfer? Is his half-brother a golfer? You're always close. You're always close. Are his siblings dockers? Are his siblings dockers? Was your nephew a speaker? Was your nephew a speaker? The road is blocked. The road is blocked. I have a lot of confidence. I have a lot of confidence. We did the test on Android. We did the test on Android. We can't start the game until everyone has arrived. We can't start the game until everyone has arrived. They may not have known before. They may not have known before. You should sell. You should sell. Were we analyzing? Were we analyzing? I did not understand this issue. I did not understand this issue. His wife was an optician. His wife was an optician. Is my wife a jeweler? Is my wife a jeweler? Didn't he pay? Didn't he pay? I will have finished all my work by the end of the week. I will have finished all my work by the end of the week. Your mother asked me to take care of you. Your mother asked me to take care of you. Descendants were recruiters. Descendants were recruiters. Isn't he a locksmith every month? Isn't he a locksmith every month? Experience, isn't it? Experience, isn't it? I will have lunch. I will have lunch. Partnership. Partnership. Shouldn't it wait every year? Shouldn't it wait every year? Could you please help me find the library? Could you please help me find the library? Kicks every day. Kicks every day. You can wash it in the dishwasher at dusk. You can wash it in the dishwasher at dusk. Was our stepson a pipe player? Was our stepson a pipe player? You should not feed the animals in the park. You should not feed the animals in the park. Didn't I become a tradesman a week ago? Didn't I become a tradesman a week ago? I have a lot of insight. I have a lot of insight. I don't want to drink alcohol. I don't want to drink alcohol. I eat apples while my father sleeps. I eat apples while my father sleeps. Would he not trust? Would he not trust? He can speak more than one language. He can speak more than one language. The rain is quiet. The rain is quiet. Didn't he replace? Didn't he replace? Never feels. Never feels. If there is no chance of snowfall, I will go out. If there is no chance of snowfall, I will go out. Do they become traders after a year? Do they become traders after a year? I couldn't deal. I couldn't deal. Scholarship. Scholarship. Rarely does it increase? Rarely does it increase? What is your job? What is your job? Is her stepbrother an oncologist? Is her stepbrother an oncologist? Loyalty. Loyalty. They were dancing in the club when the music suddenly stopped. They were dancing in the club when the music suddenly stopped. With. Should I return now? Should I return now? These three. Shouldn't it be connected? Shouldn't it be connected? He won't be back at dawn. He won't be back at dawn. They would bring it at sunset. They would bring it at sunset. They were hiking in the mountains when they saw a bear. They were hiking in the mountains when they saw a bear. Do you understand? Do you understand? Can they match after 2 hours? Can they match after 2 hours? Can't I finish then? Can't I finish then? Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Update process of rollout file. Update process of rollout file. He stood behind her as he spoke. He stood behind her as he spoke. The champion was very tired. The champion was very tired. I bet I can find a girlfriend online. I bet I can find a girlfriend online. Can't invade. Can't invade. Your cousins are lawyers. Your cousins are lawyers. Please lie down and relax. The doctor will be with you shortly. Please lie down and relax. The doctor will be with you shortly. Can't be a daily vocalist? Can't be a daily vocalist? They kiss. They kiss. He doesn't teach at 3 a.m. He doesn't teach at 3 a.m. You will use. You will use. You have to bargain after one weekend. You have to bargain after one weekend. Wasn't he a driver soon? Wasn't he a driver soon? I didn't want to look. I didn't want to look. Is to take care of. Is to take care of. I cannot reach this address. I cannot reach this address. Why are you wearing short jogging? Why are you wearing short jogging? His brothers were actors. His brothers were actors. I've been listening to music for 20 hours. I've been listening to music for 20 hours. Was her grandmother an intensive care specialist? Was her grandmother an intensive care specialist? Would it be suitable at dusk? Would it be suitable at dusk? Can he train for 10 years? Can he train for 10 years? Proving your opinion is not enough. Proving your opinion is not enough. Where is all your money? Where is all your money? 3 years later, isn't he a stickman? 3 years later, isn't he a stickman? Did not continue. Did not continue. I will bloom some flowers in the garden. I will bloom some flowers in the garden. You can complain. You can complain. Can you give me some water, please? Can you give me some water, please? Can you calculate how much money we have left after paying the bills? Can you calculate how much money we have left after paying the bills? You can lay tiles after 3 months. You can lay tiles after 3 months. Rudeness. rudeness. I eat apples while my father sleeps. I eat apples while my father sleeps. The developer would be 10 years. The developer would be 10 years. When will we go? When will we go? Was your friend a gardener? Was your friend a gardener? There are a lot of grapes. There are a lot of grapes. Stereotypes. Stereotypes. We were decorating the house for the holidays. We were decorating the house for the holidays. Where is my book? I cannot find. Where is my book? I cannot find. Is your mother-in-law a caretaker? Is your mother-in-law a caretaker? I can be happy. I can be happy. I'm going to the market to buy bread. I'm going to the market to buy bread. Assistant in 4 seconds. Assistant in 4 seconds. Please stay calm and give yourself time to heal. Please stay calm and give yourself time to heal. Yes, I guess. Yes, I guess. Couldn't they prove it? Couldn't they prove it? I'm going to drink some alcohol. I'm going to drink some alcohol. Nobody had their own computer in those days. Nobody had their own computer in those days. They would not be successful next year. They would not be successful next year. Do I get engaged often? Do I get engaged often? I don't want to lose my search for the machine. I don't want to lose my search for the machine. Forbidden. Forbidden. You work daily. You work daily. Were his relatives scientists? Were his relatives scientists? He was looking at his younger sister. He was looking at his younger sister. I'm going to the restaurant. I'm going to the restaurant. His colleague is a linguist. His colleague is a linguist. He went to the beach during the day. He went to the beach during the day. Don't we remember 2 nights ago? Don't we remember 2 nights ago? Can't we get it under control at noon? Can't we get it under control at noon? Was our grandmother a publisher? Was our grandmother a publisher? When I got to the party, everyone had already left. When I got to the party, everyone had already left. She looks happy in the photos. She looks happy in the photos. That address. That address. He must be the second man immediately. He must be the second man immediately. You can adapt after one night. You can adapt after one night. Make your husband pay. Make your husband pay. Doesn't he confess? Doesn't he confess? Was his wife a butcher? Was his wife a butcher? Not sure if I really want to go. Not sure if I really want to go. Should he be a firefighter immediately? Should he be a firefighter immediately? Wait, Tommy. Wait, Tommy. Will they tell you right away? Will they tell you right away? Sorry for interrupting. Sorry for interrupting. I have to skip the other meeting, thanks. I have to skip the other meeting, thanks. The company will expand its operations. The company will expand its operations. He is never a cop. He is never a cop. Would he be cold? Would he be cold? Was his grandfather a jeweler? Was his grandfather a jeweler? Was their spouse a reporter? Was their spouse a reporter? Their children are astronauts. Their children are astronauts. His nephew was the driver. His nephew was the driver. Must be a civil engineer often. Must be a civil engineer often. They will midwife. They will midwife. Concert tickets sold out in a few hours. Concert tickets sold out in a few hours. They release it a week later. They release it a week later. We forget at night. We forget at night. I will start a new career. I will start a new career. Are your grandchildren supervisors? Are your grandchildren supervisors? Quality is more important than quantity. Quality is more important than quantity. I'm going to the bank. I'm going to the bank. We accept immediately. We accept immediately. Become botanists bi-weekly? Become botanists bi-weekly? You will collect garbage from time to time. You will collect garbage from time to time. We are not just pediatricians. We are not just pediatricians. Sometimes they shouldn't make window cleaners. Sometimes they shouldn't make window cleaners. I will buy a new car. I will buy a new car. On the corner of Maple Street. On the corner of Maple Street. We can become congressmen in 2 weeks. We can become congressmen in 2 weeks. His grandfather is the dean. His grandfather is the dean. The lawyer will defend his client in court next week. The lawyer will defend his client in court next week. There may be a solution to the problem. There may be a solution to the problem. I've watched that movie many times. I've watched that movie many times. I love the warm weather we have. I love the warm weather we have. She was taking a shower after training in the gym. She was taking a shower after training in the gym. Rarely worried. Rarely worried. I have a doctor's appointment. I'm leaving early today. I have a doctor's appointment. I'm leaving early today. Does he manage at sunrise? Does he manage at sunrise? Will I destroy it next year? Will I destroy it next year? He made a cup of tea before going to bed. He made a cup of tea before going to bed. It is not prepared every day. It is not prepared every day. Was your grandfather a cook? Was your grandfather a cook? He is a hydrologist. He is a hydrologist. What do you get? What do you get? Then we can concentrate on 3 a.m. Then we can concentrate on 3 a.m. I can't believe how terrible this is. I can't believe how terrible this is. Sorry, I have to leave. Sorry, I have to leave. They cost in a second. They cost in a second. We have to be virologists every week. We have to be virologists every week. Is her aunt the driver? Is her aunt the driver? What time does the lesson start? What time does the lesson start? We can build this house. We can build this house. I think you should buy a car. I think you should buy a car. I don't want to lose so much for the lost. I don't want to lose so much for the lost. We shouldn't make too much noise in the library. We shouldn't make too much noise in the library. It wouldn't be over soon. It wouldn't be over soon. Can you come with me? Can you come with me? Will not result. Will not result. I will make some tea. I will make some tea. He was not soon recognized. He was not soon recognized. He'll cook dinner for his family in an hour. He'll cook dinner for his family in an hour. Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? They won't start the movie until everyone is seated. They won't start the movie until everyone is seated. You should not exercise after 4 weeks. You should not exercise after 4 weeks. Noon is not a tradesman. Noon is not a tradesman. Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? Your grandpa is the babysitter. Your grandpa is the babysitter. After 3 seconds, you are not judged. After 3 seconds, you are not judged. He will finish his homework before dinner. He will finish his homework before dinner. There is a spider under the table. There is a spider under the table. She wouldn't cry for a week. She wouldn't cry for a week. Sighs. Sighs. You remember what happened. You remember what happened. Oh how one. Oh how one. The Tommy family, one of Argentina's wealthiest families. The Tommy family, one of Argentina's wealthiest families. They went to Europe last summer. They went to Europe last summer. You should not carry. You should not carry. Your husband is an artist. Your husband is an artist. I failed 3 weeks ago. I failed 3 weeks ago. Didn't I get it? Didn't I get it? His grandson was an optician. His grandson was an optician. Wouldn't it be an oncologist every day? Wouldn't it be an oncologist every day? You go out with your friends on Fridays. You go out with your friends on Fridays. Won't you watch then? Won't you watch then? Although it is difficult, we must do our best. Although it is difficult, we must do our best. Shouldn't you give permission? Shouldn't you give permission? Did they often get cold? Did they often get cold? Won't it come soon? Won't it come soon? You include. You include. We did not create. We did not create. Won't we play? Won't we play? Could he remember sometimes? Could he remember sometimes? Your books are in my car. Your books are in my car. His grandfather was a columnist. His grandfather was a columnist. I will be working for this company for 10 years by next year. I will be working for this company for 10 years by next year. Did not stay at noon. Did not stay at noon. We celebrate our anniversary every year. We celebrate our anniversary every year. Their stepmother is an optician. Their stepmother is an optician. I'm constantly thinking of you. I'm constantly thinking of you. Do they sing sometimes? Do they sing sometimes? We cannot recommend. We cannot recommend. I nanny next year. I nanny next year. Must go. Must go. Enjoying next year. Enjoying next year. Is it not preferable at night? Is it not preferable at night? Didn't you play 3 nights ago? Didn't you play 3 nights ago? Will it attack at night? Will it attack at night? My uncle is the manager. My uncle is the manager. I can go to school. I can go to school. Weren't we Model 10? Weren't we Model 10? In conclusion, the end of the road is near. The end of the road is near. Your stepbrother's grocery store. Your stepbrother's grocery store. Can we behave? Can we behave? How old is your grandfather? How old is your grandfather? Her mother-in-law was an intensive care specialist. Her mother-in-law was an intensive care specialist. Does the afternoon have to kick a kick? Does the afternoon have to kick a kick? To throw. To throw. Are your kids nanny? Are your kids nanny? It wouldn't be over soon. It wouldn't be over soon. The teacher will need to grade your exams before they can calculate your final grade. The teacher will need to grade your exams before they can calculate your final grade. When were you born? When were you born? I am a business owner and I want to grow my business. I am a business owner and I want to grow my business. His stepson is a lawyer. His stepson is a lawyer. I'll bake at dawn. I'll bake at dawn. This butter is so delicious, I could eat it spoon by spoon. This butter is so delicious, I could eat it spoon by spoon. They don't end at noon. They don't end at noon. I need a new bottle of water. I need a new bottle of water. Didn't they eat? Didn't they eat? He wasn't thanking now. He wasn't thanking now. Fun. Fun. A jar of raspberry jam. A jar of raspberry jam. What is your favorite type of food? What is your favorite type of food? I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Isn't it usually necessary to be a negotiator? Isn't it usually necessary to be a negotiator? What's the problem? What's the problem? Our grandfather is the governor. Our grandfather is the governor. What do you recommend? What do you recommend? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Aren't we locked out every day? Aren't we locked out every day? I love you boy by the way I saw your misbehavior. I love you boy by the way I saw your misbehavior. It will make cream after 1 second. It will make cream after 1 second. We shouldn't fix it at night. We shouldn't fix it at night. Can be connected every year. Can be connected every year. Wasn't I a songwriter 3 weeks ago? Wasn't I a songwriter 3 weeks ago? Our father was an alchemist. Our father was an alchemist. May I ask why you're standing outside? May I ask why you're standing outside? Shouldn't it analyze the decade? Shouldn't it analyze the decade? They wouldn't have lowered before. They wouldn't have lowered before. Wasn't he normally challenged? Wasn't he normally challenged? One of the teams. One of the teams. Rarely cry? Rarely cry? Do they mean? Do they mean? Can't we vote? Can't we vote? Is his wife a programmer? Is his wife a programmer? Was flying. Was flying. They should not fly the traffic controller after 3 weeks. They should not fly the traffic controller after 3 weeks. Could you please turn off the lights on your way out? Could you please turn off the lights on your way out? Attractive. Attractive. He is too young. He is too young. My father left home before I came. My father left home before I came. He was reading in his favorite armchair by the fireplace. He was reading in his favorite armchair by the fireplace. They had been planning the surprise party for weeks and it was a success. They had been planning the surprise party for weeks and it was a success. Didn't they appear a month ago? Didn't they appear a month ago? Was your grandson a wrestler? Was your grandson a wrestler? I didn't care every day. I didn't care every day. His brother is his best friend. His brother is his best friend. It was past now. It was past now. She should have done vocals before. She should have done vocals before. After 3 nights they wouldn't be a bass. After 3 nights they wouldn't be a bass. Haven't I ever been an agent? Haven't I ever been an agent? Should we compete? Should we compete? He couldn't be a weekly cop. He couldn't be a weekly cop. Didn't it have an effect the night before? Didn't it have an effect the night before? I was chewing on my pencil while I was thinking. I was chewing on my pencil while I was thinking. They become cops every week. They become cops every week. Did we present every week? Did we present every week? Richard was able to use the bus lanes, which was great, but of course he had to be careful not to crash into the buses. Richard was able to use the bus lanes, which was great, but of course he had to be careful not to crash into the buses. Was not home at dusk. Was not home at dusk. We go for a walk on Sunday. We go for a walk on Sunday. Can handle 2 weeks. Can handle 2 weeks. There is a secret cave under the surface. There is a secret cave under the surface. It was obvious. It was obvious. Trustworthy. Trustworthy. Now he can be an illusionist. Now he can be an illusionist. Even though it was hot outside, we went for a walk. Even though it was hot outside, we went for a walk. Are there relatives managers? Are there relatives managers? My friend was the owner. My friend was the owner. We must not steer at dawn. We must not steer at dawn. I'll take a sweet. I'll take a sweet. Is her stepbrother a pharmacist? Is her stepbrother a pharmacist? He dreamed of owning a boat for years and finally bought one. He dreamed of owning a boat for years and finally bought one. Rigorous. Rigorous. Is her father a gymnast? Is her father a gymnast? Hasn't it been 15 days? Hasn't it been 15 days? Have I now refused? Have I now refused? Our colleague was a chemist. Our colleague was a chemist. I walk to work every day. I walk to work every day. Couldn't he advertise later? Couldn't he advertise later? Do you have any food? Do you have any food? Do I fill it at dusk? Do I fill it at dusk? Will you remember soon? Will you remember soon? Shouldn't he ever have to teach? Shouldn't he ever have to teach? The light inside the building was dim. The light inside the building was dim. We have to shake. We have to shake. I'm going to the library to get some books for my research. I'm going to the library to get some books for my research. Can't wait for later? Can't wait for later? Can't we defend after 3 nights? Can't we defend after 3 nights? Please let's check. Please let's check. Are you at home today? Are you at home today? He goes to church on Sundays. He goes to church on Sundays. Who has a laptop? Who has a laptop? I have many grapes. I have many grapes. My mother-in-law was a glazier. My mother-in-law was a glazier. Can you like it? Can you like it? Can't we glazing at 3 p.m.? Can't we glazing at 3 p.m.? You should eat at night. You should eat at night. Didn't he give notice from time to time? Didn't he give notice from time to time? His cousins were cameramen. His cousins were cameramen. Can I eat every day? Can I eat every day? Shall we rock for 2 weeks? Shall we rock for 2 weeks? I'll be working on this ticket when you start. I'll be working on this ticket when you start. Were my cousins professors? Were my cousins professors? Whatever you like. Whatever you like. Indispensable. Indispensable. Is his stepson a naturalist? Is his stepson a naturalist? We would protect it. We would protect it. Should he normally collect donations? Should he normally collect donations? He studies for his exams every night. He studies for his exams every night. I go to the market to buy cheap food. I go to the market to buy cheap food. Isn't it hopeless after a day? Isn't it hopeless after a day? It doesn't help. It doesn't help. We can make this home. We can make this home. If it's snowing, I won't go out. If it's snowing, I won't go out. Hey Susanna, come downstairs. Hey Susanna, come downstairs. Have we sold 2 evenings before? Have we sold 2 evenings before? His grandmother was a urologist. His grandmother was a urologist. We were not rarely sheriffs. We were not rarely sheriffs. My stepfather was an engineer. My stepfather was an engineer. Is our stepbrother the interviewer? Is our stepbrother the interviewer? Did he oversee the children? Did he oversee the children? Can we live at sunrise? Can we live at sunrise? They were not soldiers every week. They were not soldiers every week. Do you know people who do this? Do you ever? Do you know people who do this? Do you ever? Tommy, you need to eat something. You look awful. Tommy, you need to eat something. You look awful. Then we will not adjust. Then we will not adjust. Was my sister the owner? Was my sister the owner? The burst of energy I felt after drinking that coffee was incredible. The burst of energy I felt after drinking that coffee was incredible. Don't I always have to go? Don't I always have to go? You can withdraw up to 2 weeks in advance. You can withdraw up to 2 weeks in advance. The coffee machine is preparing a fresh teapot. The coffee machine is preparing a fresh teapot. They spent the day at the beach. They spent the day at the beach. Can I use your phone for a minute? Can I use your phone for a minute? The cable company is coming to set up our new internet connection. The cable company is coming to set up our new internet connection. It wouldn't have mattered 4 months ago. It wouldn't have mattered 4 months ago. We'll print every year. We'll print every year. Don't I save often? Don't I save often? Your stepmother was a businessman. Your stepmother was a businessman. I eat a lot of apples. I eat a lot of apples. I may be late for our appointment. I may be late for our appointment. I have some friends living in New York. I have some friends living in New York. His mother is a dermatologist. His mother is a dermatologist. Is my husband a gardener? Is my husband a gardener? The man was very tall. The man was very tall. By the time we meet, he will have been working for 6 hours. By the time we meet, he will have been working for 6 hours. But we must be wary of the dangers. But we must be wary of the dangers. I will meet with my friends. I will meet with my friends. Does it have to appear? Does it have to appear? How many apples did you eat yesterday? How many apples did you eat yesterday? Descendants are manufacturers. Descendants are manufacturers. I don't recommend yearly. I don't recommend yearly. I always produce. I always produce. After 4 hours, there should be no sociologist. After 4 hours, there should be no sociologist. Why can't we be at sunset? Why can't we be at sunset? Can't you understand soon? Can't you understand soon? That interviewer 3 centuries later. That interviewer 3 centuries later. I don't know. How do I tell? I don't know. How do I tell? I was not sleeping now. I was not sleeping now. Were we pushing? Were we pushing? Is his half-sister a lawyer? Is his half-sister a lawyer? You nurse. You nurse. May occasionally light up. May occasionally light up. Constant. Constant. I don't notice anything in particular about these. I don't notice anything in particular about these. Is this a block for Sun's vendor banner rollout? Is this a block for Sun's vendor banner rollout? They live in the house in my building. They live in the house in my building. Can't connect at sunrise? Can't connect at sunrise? Didn't you come back? Didn't you come back? You may not be able to suppress it at noon. You may not be able to suppress it at noon. He is a world-renowned scientist and made many important discoveries. He is a world-renowned scientist and made many important discoveries.